You ever gotta dig out your best bro from a sea of women trying to jump your bones?
Hello and welcome to a very impromptu podcast of 66 episodes and one movie of the 2003 Cartoon Network program Teen Titans, inspired by the DC Comics. I'm here with my wife.
The original one, not. We'll get to that other thing.
We are seriously 15 seconds fresh off the end of the Teen Titans movie.
Like, we literally just watched that credit scene where they all sing the theme song.
And
I don't know how to feel.
Oh my god. As soon as I wasn't expecting this to hold up, I remember Teen Titans in the first couple episodes. I'm like, that animation's really stiff, and it grew on me. It's not perfect, but it's a really fun time.
It really is, yeah. And so I have said this when I tell people we're re-watching Teen Titans. My coworker's family is absolute diehard fans of Teen Titans Go. And having grown up with the original series, I was kind of leery about it. But after watching it, I am so excited to sit down and compare this to Go. Because if you go back and watch Teen Titans sometime, even just a few episodes, you'll notice it is constantly dying to try and go wacky, crazy kookiness.
So that is our thesis. Go ahead.
But the show was made in a post-Batman the Animated Series world. And so it's been like creators have been taught that comic book series have to be dark and gritty and deep and serious. And this show walks a weird line.
A line that's so fine, I'm not sure it exists, but it feels tethered to the Batman animated series seriousness while trying to be animated. And we'll get into the Teen Titans Go comparisons, but this fucking show, and I am sorry as a kid I didn't give it a chance because I was fresh off the Justice League, which I found boring as sin.
Yeah, if you're not already, Justice League especially, if you're not already a fan of DC Comics, which I was not, I was just kind of like, oh, whatever. But then, so when Teen Titans originally came out, for anybody who didn't grow up with the show, when Teen Titans originally came out, they first released a fighting game Flash game on CartoonNetwork.com. And that is, so you're seeing all this promotional material and playing this Flash game, because that's
They did a great job promoting it.
They did, yeah. And you by the time the show started, you already felt like you kind of got to know the characters.
Yeah, and I like that.
Yeah.
I want to go over some of the main points, and I've tried to organize our thoughts as best we can, because we just watched 66 episodes and one movie. I want to start with your greatest accomplishment. And I want to talk about the core Titans, and the first one, we have to start with Robin.
Well, of course we have to start with Robin.
I'm so...
Look at him. Editor Jody, throw out the sexy picture.
No, it's cool.
Throw out the sexy one from the movie.
Okay. I remember. Okay, let's ignore what I think right now and talk about what I thought. I thought because as production goes on, it takes longer to make good new seasons. I always thought Robin was just the worst. He was a whiny, edgy shitlord who thought every episode had to be about him while also being the most boring character. He was
Which is not true.
He was shitty. He thought he had to be the fucking OC character for everybody. And okay, this is what I thought, remember. He was so fucking shitty, and every time Slade came up, he had to be his own dick child that went after fucking Slade. And my wife, God bless her, you turned me around. Tell me about how you feel about Robin.
Okay, so John and I were actually talking about this during slower portions of the movie. When this all craziness started, and when I first started, playing into the promotional material and actually watching the show, Raven was naturally my favorite one. I think every halfway edgy teenage girl connected to Raven.
Ditto.
Watching it again, she's a little flat outside of season 4, which we'll get to that later.
We'll get to Raven entirely.
However, the two episodes that stand out of my mind, where when I think of like the best episodes of this show that I really remember, is Apprentice 1 and Apprentice 2, the doubleheader season 1 finale.
Very, very good episodes about Robin tackling his relationship with Slade, which, while a very good initial season, we'll get to Slade later, but it really tackles his obsession. They never ever say Batman's name.
No.
But it's implied heavily that he just got off of a relationship being a sidekick to Batman.
Right. Well, and that's also implied in the origin story episode.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Like Robin literally left Gotham to come to this new city.
I appreciate how solid and like very, very solid and consistent his character is. He's always he's the Dick Grayson Robin, if that matters.
I don't even know. I don't read the comic books. I find comic books and I find the whole cinematic universe bullshit really, really dumb. So my connection to the show has absolutely no connection to that. However, this show did something interesting in that it made me go to the wiki and figure out more of this Robin's story and the background behind Teen Titans. So originally, like with the real Teen Titans in the comic books, and again, you fans can slaughter me if I'm wrong, I don't care. Nightwing is the true leader of the Titans in the books.
Mm-hmm.
And Nightwing is Slade's son. So, when you see all this tension between Robin and Slade, when you actually know the backstory behind it,
it's earned.
It is earned. It feels a little weird when you're watching and you're like, oh, what is that? But that's why, to me, Apprentice is so important. You create that connection between Robin and Slade that is otherwise feels really, really forced.
So just a really quick, 5-second spark notes. It's a 2-part episode where Robin agrees in order to get closer to Slade to do his bidding, become his apprentice. And then at the end of the second episode, he discovers, fuck it, I'm not going to do that. And then he breaks off. Very, very good character. I hated him because he was so edgy. And here's what okay. Yes, I know. Thank you for letting me come around. The reason my emotions were wrong, audience, was that every season tries to focus on a different superhero and
or on a different member of the team.
And season 1 happened to be Robin, so I just thought that's the way he always was an edgy fucktard. And once you get out of season 1, it gets better and better and better to his very greatest episode, apparently the fucking movie.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll talk about the movie later.
The hour 15-minute long.
It's fantastic. He's fantastic.
Throw out that sexy picture again.
Okay, is he? Oh God, is there anything else you want to talk about Robin?
So, when we say, just to help clarify as we go forward, when we say that each season focuses on a character, that doesn't mean every single episode is about them. Obviously, not every single season 1 episode is about Robin. But Jesus Christ, the pilot is him fighting with Cyborg.
Yeah. It's the spine of the season. They get 4, maybe 5 episodes.
Right, and usually the season finale and the overarching tension of the entire season focuses on one character. And
yeah,
again,
so Robin is
Robin.
focused on justice and so good.
Yeah, I was always worried that I never liked the leader. Like when I was watching Power Rangers, I was like, oh, I can't like the Red Ranger because I'm supposed to.
Me neither.
Can I keep?
Go ahead.
So I was always, if you don't dig into Robin's character, that's kind of all he is, which is, again, why I think Apprentice is so important. Again, I'll probably go ahead and say it's my favorite episodes of the show, the season 4 finale.
Fair.
Really runs up there. So, yeah, as I was watching, I connected way more to Robin because he's such a round, dynamic, changing character. And then the fan service with Starfire going to the future, and then you do get Nightwing. It's kind of cool.
I forgot about that shit. Oh my God. Okay.
When Starfire breaks the time-space continuum.
Okay, fuck.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
And Robin, and again, with the seasons focus on a character, but that is not the entire point. So Robin does have kind of little mini arcs in later seasons. Like there's just one really, really great episode where he keeps seeing this vision of Slade, and it literally drives him insane. And just so you know that it really helps you know that he's not completely over this. He's not it's not I beat the bad guy and then I move forward as that's what a leader does. No, he has real struggles.
I remember what I was going to say.
Go ahead.
I gave Robin unfair amount of shit because he was a boring character. He was the only human one. Is why people give Batman shit. But I think the fact that he's the only real one gave him his own character.
Right, yeah. And you can't turn into animals. You can't do any of that fancy stuff. And I think it's kind of cool that he constantly has to go around the mountain. And I do want to say this, he's a fantastic team leader.
He's very, very good. When you get over the edgy season 1 Robin, he's very good. He gets better and better and better. We get his edgy episodes out of the way.
Yeah, he's constantly like the voice of reason and bringing people together and helping people through struggles. So it's really refreshing.
Welcome to Johnny's surprise favorite character. I also grew up liking Raven, but Starfire is bae. We affectionately call her... Okay, I'm going to get into how great a character she is, but just let me be floaty and cute for a while. We call her 5. We call her 5 for 66 episodes because while she is an adult, in Tamaranian years, she's 156, but she's got the excitement about the world of a 5-year-old. When she sees cotton candy or mustard or fireworks or sumo wrestlers, she's excited about everything. And she could be excited while also lifting a fucking car and battling her sister and having very severe single episode. There's not a ton of them that focus on Starfire because if the show would have gotten a 6th season, the writer of the show said we probably would have focused on Starfire, but we didn't get there. She's such a fucking this is where DC fans are gonna kind of get a little sassy because there is a fight between DC fans of the Teen Titans comic and the show because there are more Teen Titans than what we focus on here,
right?
And a lot of their characters changed, Starfire being the most drastic. She's much more level-headed. She spoke perfect English in the comics. She was much more badass. She was ripped. It was a whole thing. But this is the one I grew up on. I'm sorry, DC fans.
Right, yeah, and again, we're not comic fans, and we don't claim to be. We're talking about Teen Titans the show, and that's what we're going to talk about.
Your interests are valid, though.
Here's my nod towards Starfire. I do, again, her wonder, wide-eyed excitement about the world is fascinating. However, and again, I feel bad stroking the feminism dick, but it is so refreshing to see a character who is female, who is also a badass, and also deals with real female struggles, and no part of that equation is ever shoved in your face. There are so many girls in this time period who's like, oh, we're girls, and people don't like that we fight crime and everything, and hurt the or it's like, oh, and again, this is part of my problem with Raven, and it's like, oh yeah, you can fight, but you also have to be like the weirdest person in existence.
A little bit.
I really, again, it's really refreshing to see somebody who's, I mean, when you look at her, just a normal girl, and there's so much depth there. There's depth to a female character, which I like. It goes beyond her vagina. She's
hot, but there's like other shit going on.
Yeah.
And she and Robin are so fucking cute together.
Talk about the time she almost got married.
Okay, guys, there are 4 guys. Really seriously, there are 4 Starfire episodes you need to know about. The first 2 are
Primate goes bananas.
The first 2 are incidents with her sister Blackfire, which you do gain a little bit more respect for when you know kind of her backstory in the DC comics. 5 episodes, excuse me. The first 2 are Blackfire's, where she always says, "I'll get you later, Titans," Rita Repulsa style. And then, like, she only gets 2 episodes.
I don't like the second Blackfire episode. The first one is fine, and we introduce a new character, sister, struggles, tension, done.
6 episodes, excuse me.
The second Blackfire episode is...
It's nice that you get to see the person who raised her, which is nice, but... There is
Blackfire's involvement in that. I like the episode. I don't like the fact that she's the evil head honcho bad guy behind it.
Yeah, she's never that fancy. She just wants to fuck Robin, and that's before I knew Robin.
She doesn't, though. She just wants to ruin Starfire's
in the
life.
First episode, yeah, by fucking Robin. No.
Throw that sexy picture again.
Okay, but, okay, the 3rd out of 6 episodes you need to know about Starfire, my bae, is in Go, the prequel episode. It's really cool that they line up pretty good with the DC comics. Is that when they found her, she was a prize, having been abducted by the Gordanians and being shipped off as a trophy. and she gets some shit fucked up, and she ain't no girl to be fucked with, and that's awesome.
She destroys like half the city.
She's hot and cute, and she'll fuck your shit up.
And she also grabs Robin by the chest, kisses him so she can speak English.
My wife is thirsty for Robin.
Nobody ever talks about that. Like, I get it, it's the prequel episode, and the prequel episode is like the third to last episode, not counting the movie. So, yeah, you don't like realize the tension is gone there. Like, it happened, but
there's one really, really good season 2 opener where they don't stop a time guy in time, and she gets thrown irreversibly like 50 years into the future, where everything's fucked up, and she meets old versions of all her friends, and she thinks they're growing apart, and it's like, no, we're not. Just because we fight doesn't mean we're growing apart. And she gets to see like this alternate dystopia, and that's really cool.
Yeah,
it's not an episode about her, but it is a cool episode.
She's the focus of it. Like, she's the audience participation.
The insert, yes. Okay. The last one, and this is one episode I was really hoping didn't suck. It's an episode called Trock, which is just the weird racism episode, and I thought based on the synopsis it was gonna really suck.
Is that like a 2000s thing to have the racist episode?
It's a very special episode that's gone back since the 70s and 80s.
Okay.
Not every show has one, but it's very clearly about racism,
right?
And I know what you're gonna say. So you could respond when so Starfire meets this guy who's like the coolest fucking alien ever, and he likes the whole team, and they help him fight aliens. But whenever Starfire says, "Hey, how can I help?" he's like, "Fuck you," and he uses this phrase called Trock. So he calls her Trock, Beast Boy Champ, Cyborg Sparky, etc. And Cyborg. By the way, a weird relationship between her and Cyborg.
Yeah. Cyborg constantly comes out of nowhere.
It works.
We'll talk about
but
that
Cyborg
later.
is a bro. We'll get to him.
Okay.
So she goes, they do a good thing, and he's like, "Oh, hey, good job, Trocky. Don't fucking call me that."
Yeah. And you find out it's like I always say her name wrong. Tamaranian. You find out it's like the Tamaranian version of the N-word.
It's a stand-in, and I accept that.
Yeah, and so, but there's a great exchange between Starfire and Cyborg that is like one of my favorite moments of the entire freaking series.
This is maybe the best line in the series, but here it goes.
It's definitely the smartest line.
It is the smartest line. So Cyborg is like, "You shouldn't deal with that. Like, everybody deals with that." And she goes, "You know what it is like to be judged based on how you look?" And Cyborg says, "Yeah, I'm part robot."
Never mind that he's black.
No, see, people are like, "Oh, why wouldn't you say that he's just black?" Dude, if you don't get the fucking metaphor, step off, bro.
Right, well, and also, like, you see in the prequel episode, like, that's a really big problem for him, is dealing with this half machine thing.
This fucking accident he had.
Yeah.
Last comments about Starfire, because Cyborg's next.
So yes, we always call her Five, and every time somebody hurts Five, we get upset.
She's cute and wonderful. I'm getting a commission done. She's my bae.
But again, like, she's more than that, and she doesn't ever shove it in your face. She's very much part of the cast. She doesn't have an agenda, and it's so rare for women characters.
She also doesn't get more episodes than she deserves.
That is true.
And I like that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Cyborg.
So when we first started rewatching this series, every Cyborg episode, we constantly end and we look at each other going, "What the fuck was that?"
Every fucking Cyborg episode in the first 2 seasons is fantastic.
It's so good.
I don't know why. I think I just accept the like half man, half machine shit. But there is some hokey bullshit where Cyborg talks to SpongeBob and
yeah.
Okay, let me back up. Okay, there's a cute episode and there's a horrifying episode in the first 2 seasons. The first one is the fucking horrifying episode where Cyborg is fighting the Amazing Mumbo, also voiced by SpongeBob. And he accidentally... Tom Kenny. God bless you, man. You do good work. And he falls into a... below the surface after falling in a trash heap or whatever. And the robot named Fix-It is just intent on turning him into a robot.
This is actually season 2. You're talking about them in the wrong order, chronologically.
Yeah, of course. No, I just as I'm thinking about it, he's like, your human parts are imperfect. I'm going to turn you 100% robot. And Cyborg is absolutely not okay with that. And there are some really terrifying body horror going on.
Yeah, he's strapped to a table and all of his circuits have been undone, so he literally cannot move. And this Fix-It is trying to remove his human bits.
And he does that.
And no, he doesn't do that.
He does. Okay, Jesus.
What the hell, dude? Don't
sorry,
audience.
Like that. He doesn't do that.
No,
we save him in time.
Yeah, we save him in time and everything, and hip hip hurrah. But still, the idea of it.
I do want to apologize. I talked about a Cyborg episode without talking about Cyborg, and here's the best part about Cyborg. Ready? He's a good comic relief without being Beast Boy.
Yes, I love the idea that the smart guy is also the tough guy.
Brawn and brains. That was really, when you said that, I kind of opened my eyes a little bit.
But he's also like so much fun as well. He's one of those characters, like it's just a joy to watch him on screen. And again, so many of his episodes are so effing good. The other episode is
Some of His Parts.
Yes, where he is that the only 99% stuff?
It is. So what it is before I go to Some of His Parts, back in the other episode where he's 100% robot, that's fucked up episode, by the way. So it gets started because he says, throw me the ball. They're having a picnic and he has to power down because every couple of years his battery needs to recharge. He feels very self-conscious about it because it interferes with his life. And while he's going back to the tower to recharge, he goes, oh my God, Cyborg, oh my God. And this little kid comes up and he's like, dude, Cyborg, you're just like me. And he pulls his sleeve up and the kid's got a...
You're mixing up the episodes. That is Some of His Parts.
Really?
Yes. Where the kid and he's...
But there's a moment somewhere where the kid sees that the kid identifies with Cyborg because he has a wooden or a bionic arm.
Yeah, he's a prosthetic arm.
Yeah. And that was, oh my God.
And then at the end of that episode, he goes, it's not that arm that makes us alike, it's everything attached to it. Yeah, and so that is Some of His Parts where Cyborg can only charge up to 100%. And when he was younger, when he played football and everything, his coach always pushed him to like 110 and 120. And so that's why that football moment is so significant, is because Cyborg learns, yes, I can reach past my limits and help out. Because in that one, everybody gets captured by, I think it's Adonis.
He has a fight with a pure strength villain. Yeah.
And so it's Cyborg episodes are always fun. I'm trying to think.
A couple of them,
except for Titans East.
Okay. Oh yeah, we almost fucking forgot about that.
Except for Titans East.
So, there's a couple of not great Cyborg episodes where his car gets fucked up and he hangs out with Raven. Those aren't great.
It's a neat pairing. It just doesn't work.
But he has his own thing where he thinks about joining Titans East after they. There's this one random, and I think it's his, because he's season 3, yeah? Mm-hmm.
So there's this one random episode towards the ends of season 3 where Cyborg all of a sudden decides that he needs to be the leader of his own team, and kind of goes off on himself. Now, to rephrase, I do not hate Titans East. I like the characters. I like the idea. I think it's really cool that Cyborg goes in and joins Hive. I hate the idea. I hate this idea that, we have to have another team that Cyborg is sometimes a part of, and that maybe he will, he won't, of course he won't, because it's a fucking kid show.
I think that Cyborg season gets a bad rap because it's coming off of 2 Slade episodes. A couple of Slade seasons, excuse me.
Yeah.
But he's really fucking good, and he's really cool, and when you think about the fact, we Googled the origins of all of these people, and a lot of them are fucked up. Do you have any final thoughts about Cyborg?
I'm trying to think. So Titans East happened. I'm trying to think of the other big episode. I think we covered.
He has a cool episode where, to try to get more into his day, he drops his emotion.
The energy drink episode.
Which is nice. Okay. Overdrive. Yeah. Okay. Speaking of fucked up origins, I want to talk about Raven.
Okay.
I have no idea where to begin with Raven.
For those of you who don't know, so season 4 is Raven's season. That's the one that ends with her crazy fucked up dad trying to kill everything. For those of you who don't know, that was supposed to be the end of the series.
So they meant, it had a 3-part finale. It was meant to be the finale.
Yeah.
And I guess Glenn Muramaki, they said to him, do you want to come back for a 5th season? And he's like, okay, sure.
Yeah, I might as well. Yeah, Raven. So again, she was my favorite character. Her power is probably the coolest of the team in my argument. I like what it can do. I like its versatility. I like that with Raven, when she's on screen, you never know exactly what's gonna happen. So, like when she's fighting. I like her sass and her snark. That is a ton of fun. She's the great Beast Boy vacuum.
Definitely trying. It's the sweetness it's the salt to balance out Beast Boy's sweetness, which is necessary sometimes.
And season 4 is interesting. You'll notice there's a lot of like random wacky episodes throughout there, like Mother Mae-Eye. And Muramaki, right? Is that how you pronounce his last
pretty
name?
much, yeah.
He has come out and said we had to have some of those light stuff in there because the Raven's dad shit is so heavy. I want to talk about the first episode you see Raven's father, which is the one where you go into her mind.
Yes.
With Cyborg and Beast Boy.
Yes.
It's in season 1. I lost my little girl panties the first time I saw that because I was like, because I think that is the first true Raven episode.
Yes.
And you get Pink Raven, who's happy, and you get Timid Raven and Sad Raven.
You get Terra Strong playing 5 different characters.
Right, and oh my God bless you, Terra Strong. You're immensely talented. I'm sorry I didn't see you when you were in Kansas City.
Terra Strong, by the way, is playing against type.
Yeah.
She usually plays very bubbly personalities.
Right, yeah. Bubbles is where I was first introduced to Terra Strong, and from what I understand, that's kind of the character she's more comfortable playing. I like Raven, but she's not dynamic. She doesn't ever change.
Yeah.
And because of just her nature and the where she is. Oh, did you want to talk about the episode where they swap bodies?
I'll let you finish your thought and we'll get there.
But she doesn't really change. She does, and I didn't mean for this to be a shit on Raven time because it's not that at all. She's a great character. She doesn't change a whole lot. There's not, I mean, she's very what you see is what you get, which is not a bad thing. And again, she has some really, really good episodes. She has some not good episodes, but she has some really, really good episodes. And the season 4 finale is so good.
It's so well paced. It's just like 66 minutes of great.
Yeah, it's so solid. Even when they spread it out, it's just a solid time.
One thing I like about Raven is that in season 4, which was meant to be the final season, she brought not an extremism, but like a weight to the festivities. Things were more serious, but not while being edgy.
Right.
So she had this birthmark. It's a whole season about, what you're destined to do, and I can't change my past, and it really impacts her character that you've seen in the last 3.5 seasons.
Right, but that was a weight she always carried around. It's not like a major change for her. It's something she's kind of always dealt with, and now it's out in the forefront.
It just explains a lot of her character, and I think back in the first 3 episodes, her sour demeanor was played for laughs. Like when Blackfire comes by the first time, they're at a club, and Raven this guy says something like,
"Everything's pointless. Want to go talk about it?" And she shrugs and they walk off.
She's so she's going to go bang that guy or something. But
no, you see them later. They're just sitting in the back room talking
about indie bands or something. That's the only time it happens, and they could have played Raven for silly nonsense.
Well, they could have played her for the deep, edgy emo girl that was kind of coming into fruition in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And they didn't. They make her. She's very believable. She's a very nice character, and again, her power is fucking awesome. Her episodes are awesome.
She gets to be awesome because her mom was raped by a demon. That's fucked up.
That is fucked up.
And it's okay to have daddy issues when your dad is a demon.
Yeah. When your dad, when he tries to completely take over the entire world and cause insanity and
fuck
everything.
Up Slade to become the big bad of the season.
When Raven is in that season finale, I'm assuming you guys know these work by now, so spoilers. when she's otherwise occupied, Robin and Slade are down in Hellscape trying to find her, and that leaves the other 3 Titans to fight Raven's dad, whose name escapes me right now. Trigon, there we go. And he can't even be bothered to stand up and fight them. He just sits there in his chair and looks out over his demise while these bees fly around him, essentially.
So she has a lot of really cool series episodes that drive the series forward. She also has a lot of fun episodes. My favorite and the one look, I
have Apprentice, John has this one.
I understand that there are moments that made you feel weird. Mine was the episode Switched, where Raven and Starfire change bodies, and I was like, this makes me feel silly in a way I can't describe because it was 2003 and I was 12.
Fun fact, that was the first TV episode I ever recorded onto my VHS recorder.
It's a good fucking episode.
It's a great episode.
They can't figure their shit out, and it's just cute.
Well, and because Ravens, it's the nature of their powers and the nature of their character. Ravens, they're both driven by emotion.
But Raven has to keep it in check.
Whereas Starfire has to exhibit those emotions to use her powers. So.
Yeah. Can we talk about the episode where Raven dates a book?
Oh, no, we can't. No, we can't.
She's worried she's too weird and doesn't have friends, and she starts dating this character that turns out to be a dragon in her book.
Yeah, and then she's weird, but she does have friends, so it's fine.
But there is one episode where she's a rabbit, and that's cute. But
right, well, and that's part of my issue. Like, the book one is a and again, I didn't mean for this to be a shit on Raven time. I love this character, but what does she learn from that episode? Absolutely nothing. Nothing about her changes. Nothing about her is different.
Not to read as many books.
Because of that experience, she is not different at all. And I don't like that.
Beast Boy.
Beast Boy.
Here's my problem with Beast Boy. I have to divorce the character that is Beast Boy with the idea of how cool it is to turn into any animal you want. Just because it's super...
Yeah, his power is really cool.
It is cool, but the older I get, the more it drags.
I get why he's there. Robin and Raven, and even occasionally Cyborg, Starfire not as much, but Robin and Raven for sure, can make that team really, really heavy. Mm-hmm. And so to have that lighter character that can provide that comic relief is good.
He tries his best.
However, remember when I said earlier about how Starfire's never in your face? Nothing Beast Boy ever says or does is subtle. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's only good in small doses.
So you see, his proponents, the people that are for him, will say, oh, but he's supposed to be the comic relief. You're supposed to recognize him.
Right, but it's like we were watching the Tokyo movie. Just because I can recognize the villain doesn't make him not a good villain.
Yeah.
Just because I can recognize your trope doesn't mean that you're doing that trope well.
Here's the biggest tell about the quality of Beast Boy. God damn, I love that he can turn into animals. I don't want this to be a shit on Beast Boy segment.
No. I'm not shitting on Beast Boy.
His single episodes that aren't Terra related.
Or Doom Nuggets. Fuck the Doom Nuggets. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now.
We'll get to the Doom Nuggets in a second. Some of the episodes, like him being captured by that alien who thinks he's a dog. You didn't like that episode. It's not great for me either.
It's annoying. I'm sitting there, and here's what a comic relief should never do. I should never be bored. Lion King 1.5, guess what? I was bored. Comedy and action have similar problems in that when you overdo them, you hurt you go against their cause. Action scenes can be really cool, but when it's a fucking hour-and-a-half long climax, no. Look at you, Avengers.
Here's a big, a good example of Beast Boy and why he sucks. He doesn't suck. I like him. He just doesn't.
He's a good fit for the team. He's not fun to watch.
So Beast Boy illegally downloads Super Monkey Doom or whatever as a computer, and in the process he crashes Cyborg because of a virus. And he has to go in there and save the day. And yes, Beast Boy saves the day, but he saves the day from the problem he created.
Yeah. And again, like, you know, there are episodes where Robin fucks up. Like, I'm talking in particular the episode I mentioned earlier where he thinks Slade is still running around. And there's times where Robin definitely does go too far. With like, oh, I need to be a leader and I need to do the thing. But he learns because of it. Beast Boy, every single episode is back to square one.
I feel like all of his episodes that elicit permanent character growth are Terra-centric, and we'll get to that, but there's no episode where he learns a lesson and then changes. Yeah. Even Marco from Animorphs, like, changes.
Mm-hmm. And as much as I hate the Doom Nuggets is Doom Patrol, by the way.
I thought you just didn't know their name.
No, I know their name. I just fucking hate them, so I call them Doom Nuggets. I kind of, that's the only point where you see growth in Beast Boy, though, is in those episodes with the Doom Patrol. In season 5? Yes? 5?
Yes.
Season 5. Another issue I have with season 5, by the way, let's create this random league of villains that we have never mentioned or talked about before and have them be the new antagonists and expect us to be as invested in them as we were with Slade.
So let me pretend to be a DC fanboy and rebut you.
Okay.
But the Doom Patrol and the Brotherhood of Evil always existed. You're just now hearing about it.
Right, but they didn't exist in the universe of this show. I am a fan of this show.
It is tough with this, and to a lesser degree with the Brotherhood of Evil, to get
what a stupid fucking name that is.
To get invested in this, because number one, they're very 50s superpowers.
Yeah. And there's so many of them. Because we introduced the Brotherhood of Evil at the same time that we introduced the other Titans. And I get it. In the comics, there were more Titans than the 5 we focus on here in this show.
Yeah.
I don't care. To have this kind of league of villains, and there's a monkey, and it's smart, but also strong and everything. And apparently Beast Boy can only fight this monkey while he is also a monkey.
That's cool. People are on the fence about season 5, the Beast Boy season, because it does that thing where it introduces a lot of extra characters we didn't know about. And I feel like, we'll talk about this with Terra, when the spine of an episode, those 5 connective tissue episodes, when they don't function well, it can hurt a season. And a lot of season 5, where Beast Boy is the boss, involves let's give all of the Titans communicators so we can get them.
Right, and I do like the payoff in season 5. Those last few episodes where Robin gets captured, the Titans all come together, and Beast Boy does have to step up and take on a leadership role, for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
That is a neat time. It needs to happen more than once.
Yeah.
If you want me to put up with him for 66 episodes.
Those 2 episodes are very good, but it's just like a lot of let's give everybody a communicator, and it's like boring dramatic irony.
And Beast Boy, a lot of the Beast Boy episodes that I can think of really have just kind of missed potential. Like, let's talk about when they meet Aqualad. Which, yes, I would. All of that. Throw up Aqualad's picture and Sexy Robin picture together. Yes.
Johnny, you do you.
So the episode where they meet Aqualad, there's Beast Boy is all butthurt because he thinks Aqualad's trying to replace him, and Aqualad thinks he's better, and Aqualad has never said that ever once, and he says so to Beast Boy when they have that fight at one point.
Yeah.
And Beast Boy's like, oh, well, you weren't trying to replace me at all. And that's what part of working on a team is like, that we got to work together. How did you get so far with the Doom Patrol and with the Titans without learning that lesson?
Okay, hang on.
It's a good lesson to learn. It comes out of nowhere, and it doesn't make sense.
The fact that you've pointed that out is starting to piss me off. And I okay, the creative in me knows that when they wrote that Aquaman episode, they didn't intend to introduce the Doom Patrol.
Right.
I get that.
Right.
But that inconsistency bothers me a little bit.
Yeah, it's no bueno. And I see that consistently. Like, Beast Boy is very selfish. He's very self-centered. It's so neat in season 5 where he finally learns, hey, being a leader is not about being the best or being the guy who gets all the chicks. It's about calling people together and doing what needs done. Again, something that Robin does, in my opinion, very, very well.
Yeah.
There's so much missed opportunity with Beast Boy, and it really, really hurts him as a character.
The biggest... Here's a sign that they didn't handle comic relief well, is when Beast Boy's "now I'm serious" moment, it feels less like a badass moment and more like a we're bringing the character back to normal levels moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way. So again, I don't hate Beast Boy. I think he definitely needs to be on the team. I think he has a place here in the show, and I think he has a place as a character. Just because I do not like that character does not change that. Unlike...
Guys, don't let Terra impact... Guys, don't let my wife impact what you think about Terra. Just let...
No, actually you fucking should, because I'm fucking right, and she's a piece of garbage.
Let me... Okay, look.
Piece of garbage.
You turn me around on two fronts.
Not only is she a useless character, she actually hurts the show. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'll stop interrupting you.
You have a lot of shit to say.
I'm so mad.
I'm going to drink my Kermit the Frog water. You just tell me about Terra.
The second...
Go ahead.
Now Kermit the Frog water's all over the microphone.
It's cool.
The second, even the first time I watched this as a kid... Terra, first episode, fine, whatever. Oh, neat, yeah, different girl. Oh, she's gonna go off and do her own thing, awesome. And then she came back. And then she kept coming back. And then she was a villain. And then she was a love interest.
The fucking shaking in your face right now.
Oh my god, I understand. Again, all you fanboys, fangirls out there, I understand in the comics, Terra is with them for years.
I don't know how the time dilation works.
I know it's not an insignificant amount of time.
Somebody quoted dozens of issues.
Yes. I understand Terra has a place in the comics, and she probably has a place in the Titans. In this show, she does not.
5 episodes is not long enough to nurture and develop a betrayal arc.
But it is long enough for you to have wasted my fucking time.
And that's the worst. 1 episode is the sweet spot. 7 episodes or 8 episodes might have been a sweet spot.
Yeah, you could have made it work.
5, though.
It's... Oh my god.
She fought a scorpion. Is that cool?
Okay, so let's talk about the Terra episodes in order.
Okay.
Because again, I hate Terra. I really do. I firmly, strongly believe she hurts this cartoon.
Number 1, we meet Terra. Little baby's first OC, what the fuck ever. She has a power, it makes sense. She has a struggle, it makes sense. She goes beyond that struggle. The team is richer for having known her. Done. Here is just a really quick aside. The reason I gave Terra the B of the D, the same way I gave Beast Boy the B of the D, is that his power is cool. That does not make them a cool person.
That does not make them a cool person, no. And her tiny little itty bitty weird nitpick, her design was fucking stupid.
I did not remember her being that skinny.
She has gigantic fucking eyeballs.
But that's a
and it's
design
so
choice.
weird. And it's a design choice, but it would make sense if like the other characters also had gigantic eyeballs.
Yeah, Raven.
No.
Yeah, Raven.
They're more proportioned to her face.
Okay,
Starfire
okay,
doesn't.
okay.
Robin does, but he's wearing a mask.
But she's got those bubbly eyes to make Goo Goo Beast Boy eyes at.
No, she never does. Because again, she like him, she's selfish. Okay, Terra number 2. I don't even remember that one. What happened there?
Terra comes back, presumably to now that she's more mature and able to join the Titans, and she thinks that Beast Boy told them about the fact that she can't control her powers, and she gets mad and leaves a second time.
Yeah. Again, little baby's first OC, it's unnecessary. That's the first one that's unnecessary. You've wasted an entire 20 minutes of runtime on a character I don't care about and a character that doesn't add anything to the series.
You feel strongly about this.
I do. I remember constantly so I stopped watching Teen Titans because I no longer had access to a television. And so I didn't really get the kind of round conclusion. I do, however, remember the Terra arc is about where I stopped the first time. And I remember just every time I thought about her, it's this weird taste left in my mouth. She feels like a fan fiction.
It feels very anachronistic. It throws the flow off.
Right, and so when we find out later that she was working with Slade the whole time...
I'm so salty.
When we find out she was working with Slade, there's no payoff. There's no payoff because there's no tension.
So
we don't get a beat on their relationship. We have no reason to see that Terra is loyal to Slade at all.
If I had known her comic book style for like 4 or 5 months or however long dozens of issues is...
Yeah.
I'd have felt like betrayed, but 5 episodes, and there's a trope name for this where like a medium change means you have to leave shit out. Like when Harry Potter moves from books to movies,
yeah,
you have to cut shit down, but shit gets hurt in the transition.
Right. Well, and the fact that yes, I understand you had to cut parts of Terra's character and Terra's time with the Titans out, but you cut too much. You might as well have cut the whole thing, and it would have been a better show.
When I watch movies, I definitely feel that way, that I'm like, give it the time or ignore it completely.
Yes. And Terra, you hit the worst spot. And so, again, if we had time with her and Slade, because her time with Slade and her betrayal is very much tell, don't show.
Yeah.
We are told that Slade helped her gain over her powers. We are told that she has a higher control over them. We are told that she has been doing things. And she has this weird, random character change where she's floating around the ruined city on a rock going, this was fun. That is absolutely nothing to do with the girl we knew those other episodes.
That is a weird change. Here's where I kind of want to fight about Terra.
It's little Betsy's first OC. Sorry. I'm keep going back to that because, again, it feels like a fan fiction.
It does a little bit. She's skinny and... Okay, the moment where I thought that my wife had turned me around is when I said, I want to be edgy and nobody understands me, but I also want to be part of the team.
Yep.
That burned me so bad.
Yeah, and she does. She wants I'm a bad guy, I'm going to betray, but she's also like, oh, no, I just want to be part of the team. Nobody understands me.
But I also, I want to talk about something that maybe will incite a little more contention is the series finale. I did not tell my wife that Terra was part of the series finale.
I'd heard of this episode before we watched it.
I did too. I didn't know a lot of the details, but
I had heard there was this stupid zombie Terra wandering around.
And a Terra who didn't understand who she was, and Beast Boy was being a weird creeper trying to...
But again, by that point, I was so fed up with anything Terra related, I simply sat there and waited for the episode to be over.
You expected the Terra arc to be done.
Yeah. You gave her a round ending. It's a fucking round ending she didn't deserve, but she got one.
I literally almost spit on the coffee table.
Again.
here is a cool interpretation of the series finale entitled "Things Change," episode 513.
Which series finale, in my opinion, the movie is the better series finale, but
Yeah,
whatever.
Yes, it is. Yes, Beast Boy is being a creeper the entire time. And but
it's Beast Boy at his worst.
Yeah, it's not a good Beast Boy episode. Despite it being a Beast Boy season, what the fuck? But Terra's rationale, I have an alternative character interpretation for Terra. And I think that what it is she knows who she is, and that she is lying to Beast Boy because having a normal life is more important to her than Beast Boy, because whatever she did in the DC Comics to fuck up, to do poorly, for whatever reason, she has a reason to start over, and she's not giving that up.
Yeah. Robot Slade explained that. By the way, where did Robot Slade come
Yeah, what the
from?
fuck?
Why is he the one to explain
What
that?
the fuck?
What in the world is his connection to Terra? Is Slade still around? Is he still alive? Is Terra still under his... How did she lose her memory? Fuck that entire episode and fuck Terra.
It wasn't perfect. A lot of people don't like that.
Everything that every bone thrown Terra's way is undeserved, and it never lands. She's a poorly developed character. She's the plot points that she is a part of are poorly developed and unnecessary, which is worse than being bad. You could have spent so much more time, like, give Beast Boy a love interest, whatever. You could have spent so much more time on having that impact his character. No, all you did was turn him into a stalker.
And I apologize because I grew up with Animorphs, and Animorphs loved to introduce a character that we thought was going to be part of the team and turned out to be a bad guy, and I apologize for that.
It's an easy, yeah.
Okay, you have anything left to say?
Fucked.
Slade is cool.
Fuck it, yes! Slade is Bamf villain.
By the way, Slade is AKA Deathstroke, which was apparently too edgy a name for Cartoon Network, so they renamed him Slade.
And which is his actual first name.
Really?
Well, it's his first or last name.
When he was a human.
Yeah, well, he is a human.
I don't know. Don't at me.
But, oh my god, Slade is the best villain. That voice actor, God bless you.
He is very good.
That is amazing. Every time Slade's on screen, I never know what he's going to do. And he is always a step at the head of the Titans without ever feeling OP. He does get tripped up. He does have circumstances he didn't consider. But the fact that most of the time he's on top of it makes him truly, truly terrifying.
One thing that I have to divorce in my head is every time I look at Slade and I think about Slade, I'm thinking about the edgy Robin episodes.
Yeah, Apprentice is a great episode, and I will thank you to sit there and admit that.
I think about how much I dislike the edgy episodes, and Slade reminds me of those edgy episodes, but that's not Slade's fault.
No.
He's a good villain, and he does good villain shit. And
yeah, he's a solid villain, and a rarity for these, his motivations are always clear.
Yeah.
When he's going after Robin, there's a reason why he's doing that. And again, if it's that relationship is so much deeper, you can enjoy the Slade tension with Robin and with the rest of the cast without knowing the backstory of Teen Titans, the fact that Deathstroke and Nightwing are father and son. You can enjoy that in this. Whereas, again, unlike the Terra arc, if you don't do your research, you're just sitting there blinking like, what the fuck happened?
A YouTuber I really admire once said that the best reference adds to the work if you understand it, and if you don't, it doesn't take away.
Yeah.
So a lot of the shit about Nightwing being the leader of the Titans is good.
Yeah, and I don't know, what impact it has throughout the comics if they have more tension. And again, Apprentice is my favorite episode, so I'm biased. But I do think Slade is a solid villain. The season 4 Slade, where he has literally died. This is after Terra kills Slade in season 3.
Kills.
Yes. Well, she buries them both inside a giant pit of lava.
Yep.
And then in season 4, with the whole Raven Trigon shit, Trigon. I can't. No, not.
He has made a deal with the literal like devil of this universe.
Yes.
That says, if you give me my daughter, I will bring your fucking skin back.
I will bring you back to life. And so Robin and Slade literally travel through hell fighting demons to find baby Raven and bring her back to the surface.
That's very hardcore.
They have different reasons for doing so, but they merely accept that they cannot get through this without each other. Again, a great Slade and Robin episode.
Very, very good.
Throw that sexy picture up again.
So Slade, he works best off of Robin, but he's also a good villain as well.
He is. Oh my gosh, those scenes he has with Raven in that season is, oh my god, creepy as hell.
A little rapey, but great. He's a good villain. God damn. He sends bad guys to do their work, and he's so good. He's so great.
And with Slade, all of the points are hit well. Again, the Terra arc fumbles and gasps for breath as it's dying, but that's not his fault. That's kind of the really only bad Slade episodes. Every time you see him, and what I love about Slade is they never feel the need to, especially early seasons, they never feel the need to shove him where he is not needed. He's never like, oh, this is the big villain of the episode, therefore he has to be in every single episode.
They spent a great time building him. Even in like bullshit throwaway episodes like Lightning and Thunder, he's there.
Yes.
Like, they did a fantastic job building him, and he's a good villain, and he appears in 60% of all seasons. Like, that's hardcore shit.
Yeah. It's awesome. Did you have any? Go ahead.
Do you?
No, did you have any more you want to say? Because I have something to say.
No.
So, Slade is a solid villain, and we spend a lot of time getting to know him. How is it that one guy is way, way better than the freaking entirety of Brotherhood of Evil?
Okay, look. I watch a lot of Survivor, and when you do 2 seasons a year, I'm very familiar with something called recency bias, which is when something isn't as good as what used to come before it, and so you think that is shitty. Yeah, you because it's not as good as what came before it, you think it's shitty, and I think Brotherhood of Evil falls victim to that a little bit.
I think it is too. Well, and again, the issue is you have so many characters, and it's the issue with the nature of season 5 and how it was not really planned to ever be part of the season, and then it was just kind of made. But yeah, so the Brotherhood of Evil comes up, and there's so many characters. You don't have time to get to know them all. You barely know what they all do.
So a lot of, as a kid, I know that it turned me off a little bit to have all these extra characters suddenly. Beast Boy, Aqualad, Speedy, Masa Menos. I as a kid was more interested in a contained like character list and a contained set. So to have all these extra characters felt like they didn't have enough faith in the characters they had. But little did I know that Teen Titans is a shit ton of characters. Right,
yeah, and again, in the comics, Teen Titans is massive. And it was really, really cool as the series finale, more or less, to have all the Titans come together and fight the different branches of this evil badness. By the way, the show is in love with Madame Rouge. Why?
That's Doom Patrol. No. What I'm talking about?
Stretchy, snaky lady.
I'm talking about season 3, the Cyborg arc.
Oh, I'm talking about the Brotherhood of Evil, which is not in season 3.
Holy shit. Okay, let's leave season 3. We'll talk about season 5, which is definitely the Brotherhood of Evil.
Yeah.
They have, when a member of that team isn't as important, they don't give them as much time. So, the Brain is important. The Madame Rouge especially is important. the monkey, and then there's this cool fourth guy, General
Immortalis
or something.
General Immortal bitches.
General Immortus or something.
Yeah.
He's cool and he has a cool story, but that's it.
And that's it.
He's here to help the story along.
You see him twice.
You don't get a character. Like
it's not a character, so why is he here?
No. I love that he's here, but they don't pretend that they're giving him any attention, Terra style.
Right, and so, but with Madame Rouge, every time she is on screen, she does the same goddamn thing.
I turned into somebody you thought was not me.
Stretchy, and aren't I hard to fight? Because the brain can't move, because he doesn't do anything.
Well,
and they know that voice is hella annoying, so we can't give him too much screen time.
It's cool. It has the Beast Boy problems where, like, I didn't know any of these people before it began.
Yeah. And again, I don't know that that's necessarily their I don't know that it's anybody's fault. It's simply the nature of the season, and they did the best with what ideas they had, and I definitely respect that. It fell flat for me.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to talk about Brother Blood?
We'll get to that.
Sorry, I keep thinking you're done.
The reason I can't. Okay, spoiler. Some fans are very split on the final season of Teen Titans.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah. Some people like it, some people don't.
Yeah.
I can't dismiss it entirely because those last 2 episodes are so fanficky.
They're so good.
They get every bad guy fucking ever almost.
I think that's fucking awesome though.
It's so cool.
It's so cool. And like, yeah, you're like, this is so dumb, but I love it. And it's very much that.
It's very much what people wanted Avengers to be.
Yeah.
So good.
A lot of people like Avengers for what it is.
What the hell is season 3's main dude? Brother Blood, shut up. It's a good season.
It's a good season.
Brother Blood is the main guy, voiced by Jim Cummings. I believe he just heads Hive Academy.
Yeah, he's the headmaster of Hive Academy, which doesn't matter until right then.
Well,
they're mentioned, but they don't matter.
They show up in season 1, but he has a new headmaster after they all, like... The point is, you get to revisit season 1 bad guys that didn't get a lot of attention. Mammoth, Gizmo, Jinx, a couple of others.
Yeah, and the rest. No, I like so season 3 is the Cyborg season. I really like those episodes where Cyborg is infiltrating Hive Academy.
Yeah.
And like,
oh man,
he's like, while it's a bad guy school, this is also like, he really connects with people, and he really gets in touch with a lot of these characters, including Brother Blood, who promises to turn him human again.
It was hardcore because Brother Blood appears to have some powers. And what really...
It can mind control people.
What really upped my promises for the season was when... So Brother Blood has said, if you do what I say, I will turn you human. And he says, no. And then later, at the end of the season premiere, Starfire comes into his room and he says, because of my accident, I didn't get to finish high school. So that was really special for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and... Yeah, again, this is a great batch of Cyborg episodes. Season 3 is just awesome. But Brother Blood is so, like, he's the most flawed villain.
Yeah.
He succumbs to hubris. Rather than, like, Slade, which is like a cold, unfeeling death machine. Brother Blood is quite flawed. He has a goal. He wants to achieve that, and he quite often fails in doing so.
He's not flawed in a good way.
Yeah. He's interesting. That doesn't make him necessarily a good villain. Again, and it's so hard because Slade was so strong.
You don't follow Slade, and you're like, oh, I could beat that.
Right, yeah. You don't follow Slade with James from Team Rocket.
I almost blew a raspberry right into the mic.
But that's kind of what Brother Blood comes across to me as. He's kind of a dandy.
He's good. He is a dandy. I got to talk about the series villains because
yeah, just
there's a handful of fantastic villains
and a handful of really crappy ones.
Okay, we'll talk about the crappy ones if they come up, if they suck. Number 1, fucking Mad Mod.
Oh, Mad Mod.
Look.
There is an episode, there's a 4th of July episode
okay.
where Mad Mod turns the entire world British. And it is fabulous.
Here's the thing. This introduced us to the Japanese rule of Teen Titans, which means if this is generally a jovial, doesn't matter episode, they sing the Japanese theme.
Guess what theme gets sung every time Mad Mod is on screen?
Exactly. So the first one, okay, by the way, it's so funny that Mad Mod wants to like teach the youth of today a lesson. And he's voiced by Malcolm McDowell, whose most famous role is playing a kid in the Stanley Kubrick movie.
A Clockwork Orange.
Who was a shithead youth who just wanted to fuck shit up.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god, I love voice actors who have a fantastic time in the booth.
Yes.
And Malcolm McDowell was like, my duckies!
No talking while the teacher's talking.
It's such a fun episode because they have a Beatles go on.
And Mad Mod to me, and I described this earlier, and I really, really want to drive this point home. I am so excited to compare this series to Teen Titans Go, because that desperate urge the show has to fly off the rails is no better exhibited than in the Mad Mod episodes.
That is the first time where I was like, this show wants to be a different thing.
It wants to be a cartoon and not a post-Batman the Animated Series comic book cartoon.
I've seen almost no Teen Titans Go. I'm excited, but we'll get to that in a second. Mad Mod is fantastic. He's so fucking British. Who gives a shit if the joke is easy and the same every time? It turns into a Monty Python subway wallpaper sketch.
Yeah. Where
they learn that, he wants to turn America into Britain and it makes no fucking sense and he's amazing.
He, in the one crazy episode where they all have the road race.
Fuck that.
Mad Mod is literally driving Big Ben.
He's driving Big Ben put on his side with wheels. Oh, Jesus.
I actually kind of like that episode. It's a fun little romp.
It is fun. There's 3 main bad guys I want to talk about. The second one is fucking Control Freak.
Oh, yeah.
He's so good. He's not good, but you know what he's supposed to represent. He's a fanboy, and the first time you see him, he's terrorizing a video store. Yes.
Go ahead.
He's terrorizing a video store because they don't have the right Star Trek episode on the best of list.
And the episode where he's constantly IMing those 3 people on his blog. That is one of the best episodes of the entire series. I laughed my ass off.
It's a very soft satire that is fantastic. So he has 3 episodes. One where he's just an excuse for them to have a spooky episode.
Yeah.
The second one where he literally puts them in the TV Willy Wonka style. What the fuck? And they have to go through commercials and TV and shit. And then the third episode where he, like, the Titans are out and he just has his own episode.
Yeah, he just has his own. He's just fucking shit up in Titans Tower.
Titans East, yeah.
Yeah, and Titans East comes in and kicks him out of Titans Tower because the Titans are off trying to find other Titans for the Brotherhood of Evil. But the episode where they go to the TV, he's constantly, like, as they're jumping through TV shows trying to figure out how to get out, Control Freak is just sitting there kind of watching them. And he's constantly getting, like, you get this idea he runs, like, a Teen Titans fan blog or something.
That is the Titans East episode.
And it is, okay, my apologies.
Yeah.
But in that episode, he's constantly getting these posts from these people on who they ship and why this character works and that one doesn't. And it's just the great, like, everything you hate about fan communities.
I love that, like, I ship Beast Boy and Starfire. You could not find 2 characters in the show that have less chemistry.
Have less in common than Beast Boy and Starfire.
Oh, God.
Except for Beast Boy and Raven. Yes, I said that. Yes, all of you shippers are nuts.
Work it out. There is a third villain I can't think of who is just great. Let me grab my phone while
you
we
like
think
Dr. Light.
I do like Dr. Light because he shows up and I like that he's, like, he's got cool powers.
He's just a very standard, like, oh, I'm here to fuck shit up villain. The time travel guy is pretty cool.
I'm gonna find it. Hang on.
God, I'm trying to think. Again, the Brotherhood of Evil kind of falls flat for me, but they're not main villains.
Yeah.
The Amazing Mumbo, voiced by
Amazing Mumbo.
Kenny.
That's who it is. Oh my fucking god.
Voiced by Tom Kenny.
Tom Kenny has.
I don't understand why you like Mumbo so much.
It's cool. He has more than one episode, which is important. Just like one episode is like he's like the Control Freak. He has one side episode where he's not the big deal. And then he gets his own episode where they turn everybody into animals. And Robin is a monkey, and Cyborg is a bear, and
shit.
Raven is a bunny, and Starfire is a cat. And Beast Boy is like, nana boo boo, you can't turn me into animals. I already do that. Okay, have a phone.
Or a lamp. Or a table.
It's so good. Oh.
I hate the fucking, let's be random Alice in Wonderland episodes for a minute. Like, it's Mumbo's not causing the tension. It's just them being weird. I don't know. That episode doesn't do it for me.
It is a weird episode, and I get it. I'm gonna quick go over like standalone episodes that are really fucking good. Excuse me. While I'm thinking about it, Mother Mae-Eye.
Oh my god, Mother Mae-Eye.
That is such a fucked up episode. There's like,
Holy
we're killing
shit.
gingerbread men all the time, and Starfire's got a great sweater, and she turns into something.
That is like an acid trip of an episode.
It's fun.
Mother May. It's a fun acid trip, but it is just, you're sitting there and you're like, what am I looking at?
The only reason Starfire knows that she's a witch is because she gets a concussion at the mall. So what the fuck?
Yeah.
Date with Destiny. Kitty and the Moth.
Oh, Kitty and the Moth.
That is
Kitty and Killer Moth and Fang are the three villains.
The only way you're gonna stop us from unleashing a swarm of killer moths onto Jump City is if you go on a date with my daughter, this like absolute brat of a girl.
It's not just a date, it's prom. It's junior prom.
And Robin doesn't do dates, and that was the first episode. Go ahead.
It's so funny because Robin is so straight-laced up until that point. Like, all the other characters kind of get wacky except for him and Raven. So to put him in that very odd, weird situation, and that does change. Robin does get a little bit more wacky and crazy later, but he'd never done that before. And so to see that with this Kitty episode, and she's hanging on him and fucking like announcing to everybody around, I'm on a date with the big superhero Robin, and Robin's just uncomfortable the entire time, and he doesn't know what to do or say.
Starfire's so mad.
And Starfire's doing a massive, massive boo-hoo in growly pants.
She's nice in that, though.
It's a great character building episode, and again, Robin and Starfire, like, I was always a Robin Raven girl, and now I'll kind of give it to Robin Starfire. I've come around on that.
Love it.
But they handle that romance very well. It's never vomited onto you.
But babe, what about that episode where Beast Boy fights some tofu to get his own moped?
I barely remember that. If it's a Beast Boy episode, I usually just check out.
I enjoyed it. That's the episode that taught me that I like my heroes a little silly.
Yeah.
A little fun.
And I think you should have a little bit of that, but I don't know. It's never a very important quality for me. It's good.
One last thing we do have to touch on is that
the movie?
Oh my god, two things. Number one, the movie.
Number one, the movie.
The movie was intended, and this is the only time I think that this has happened, is that the movie was intended to be the end of the series.
Right, and I think they kind of realized what happened with season 5. And again, while I do like the season 5 ending and all of its cheesy, really weird chaos of characters I don't really know, the movie was a much rounder ending for the 5 Titans. It's kind of a big Robin episode, which I'm okay with, but if you're really for some reason against Robin, you're probably not going to like the movie.
Yeah. I'll tolerate V-neck.
Throw that sexy picture up again. Love it. Yes, you put on those shades.
But it had both edge and a good villain and a good plot and lots of silly Japanese stuff.
Yeah, and it was what is honestly best about the show. It is a very, very odd and satisfying combination of crazy, wacky weirdness and very serious fighting. And again, how hilarious is it that their big villain makes comics books?
Which was really good because we saw that twist coming and it was really good. That is a great metaphor for the series.
It really is.
It's a scaled back, very strapped down, gritty, like comic book coolness, while also wanting to be wacky, trying its best, sprinkling wacky without it infecting the rest of the meal.
Well, it's all of this gritty. Oh my god, this guy is literally hooked up to a printing press machine making monsters, and Starfire's getting excited about sumo wrestlers.
But they kiss, so it's super
But
cute.
they kiss, so it's the kiss didn't do anything.
And Robin V-neck.
And Robin V-neck. And Sex to Shades! Yes! Keep that picture up there.
Yeah, I love it.
Put it in the corner.
Oh my god.
Love him. He's gonna stare at you.
Johnny, you do you. The last point I want to make, and because the movie led so well into that, when Teen Titans Go came out, a lot of people my age who grew up with Teen Titans, they said, "This is a travesty. How dare you take my beloved source material and fuck it up?"
There are people we know quite well who still hold that opinion.
But here's the thing, guys. Here's the key to your enjoyment of Teen Titans Go. As
far as we know, we haven't seen the series.
We intend on watching the entire series.
Yes.
I'm excited.
It'll be fun.
As soon as you accept that it is an entirely different show and that you shouldn't hold on to your prejudices, it becomes fucking hysterical. I have never not laughed at anything that show has done.
Yeah, we've only seen like kind of random spare bit episodes. Again, my coworker and his family are absolutely diehard fans of them, and so I constantly hear little snippets of Go and how enjoyable it is and how much their kids enjoy it. And so I'm really excited.
I'm super stoked to be able to compare that because I want to see the show able to do what it wants. It's spinning its wheels, trying to go in a direction. And now that we gave it the opportunity, I want to see what it does. Yeah,
and it does. That being said, though, to the original show's credit, it does kind of I do really believe it walks that line far better than it really has any right to.
Absolutely.
And that's really kind of, I don't know. I don't think there's really another show like that does that so well.
Yeah.
So it's really gratifying. If you haven't seen it in a while, check it out. If you want kind of a good kind of spark notes, just watch the movie. The movie's a nice, solid piece.
It's a really good, like, spark notes on all their characters.
Yeah, and again, it's a little Robin-centric, so if you have something vehemently against Robin, I get it. But the movie is really nice because, again, it's again everything the show stood for and everything the show is about. And does it hit every single mark all the time? Of course not, but no show ever will. And it's still a great time.
It's held up well, and in my opinion, it's improved because I was not anti superhero, but I just found realistic shit boring as a kid.
Right, and with all of this stuff coming out now of like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe and DC doing whatever the fuck it's doing, I've completely checked out of that world because comic books had never appealed to me. There's something about Teen Titans that draws you in.
That strikes a really good balance.
It strikes a good balance and it strikes a good chord. And again, its characters are interesting. Most of them. Its characters are interesting. Its villains are solid. For those of you who want a comic book romp, you have that. For those of you who want a comedy, you have that. For those of you who want a deep, gritty, realistic thing, you have that. Probably stick with season 4 if that's what you're looking for. It's rare to see something hit so many marks without failing any of those marks.
But it has what I love the most about material is that it does a ton of stuff right, some stuff wrong, and it's all interesting. And I think it holds up pretty good, and you should go find that.
Yes.
Also, there's a lost episode where Rick Sanchez joins the Sex Pistols.
Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty. That's who he looks like.
He really fucking does.
He looks like Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty in a jumpsuit with a guitar.
And it's awesome. It's just a good.
And it was in a cereal box.
Yeah. Get your Trix Rabbit, boys.
Yeah.
Oh God, Starfire's the best.
I'm glad you turned around on Robin.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah.
On what is easily the longest fucking podcast we've ever done.
There's so much to that series. I mean, how long have we been watching Teen Titans now?
3 months?
Yeah.
2 months?
It's been a while.
I love it.
And Titan Go, I believe, is more episodes.
Rock and roll, baby. Rock and roll.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know if we'll go right into Go or whatever, but thank you guys for joining us with these podcasts as always, and
we'll see you next time.
We'll see ya.
Hopefully for more Go.